stop excusing your poor behavior. Point blank. You're listening to Squeeze Limes, where truth stings, laughs heal, and nothing's off limits. I'm Tyler, the daughter.
I'm Robin, the mom. And if life gives you lemons,
We're squeezing limes instead.
so grab a seat, open your mind, and get ready to laugh or cry, because we're not here to play nice.
We're here to get real.
Today we're talking about why do we always blame our parents?
Because they're the ones that raised us.
However, yes, that's good. However they did it, I don't know. But I feel like when people become adults, they should stop blaming their parents because they have to take responsibility at some point, right? So if they know that they weren't getting what they needed, or they think that they should have been raised differently, or whatever it is, when do you then take responsibility for your own life?
I think you should always take responsibility for your own life. However, most, if not all, identities, impressions, beliefs, values, traumas, everything that makes you who you are stems from childhood.
Not everything. I think
Almost
traumas happen to adults.
Of course. I'm talking about childhood, it's everything. And that shapes you into the person and the perspective that you have in the world.
Correct.
And so when you're a child, you're solely reliant on your parents.
Correct.
Right. So I think it is fair to blame the parents if there are,
So maybe some.
in any way. I mean, not if they're just faults, good things too. However, when you go to therapy, things are stemmed
like
from
you
childhood.
learned this way.
That's what you
saw
talk
this. Absolutely. And I respect that. But there comes a point when you can't continue to blame them for the actions that you take today as an adult.
Like what?
I don't know. What do you blame me for?
Wow. This episode wasn't for me to blame you.
No, I'm just
I
saying.
don't blame you.
Let's just take it from our
anything.
playbook.
What do you blame your parents for?
They're not here
That's
to
a better
defend, so that's
question.
kind of rude. I blame my mom for not being strict. She was completely liberal, like whatever, do whatever, sleep wherever, anyone can sleep over, whatever it is. And I don't blame them. I mean, I blamed them, but then I got a chance to raise my own kids, and it was not that. It was the opposite of that. I wanted more strict, not strict, but more strict.
Or structured.
More structured. Absolutely. So many things were different.
I don't know if it was so strict.
No, more strict.
Okay.
I wasn't strict, but I was definitely more.
Yeah.
And so I had a hold on where you were and when you were coming home and all those things that that didn't happen for me. So do I blame her for something? No, I don't. I actually I'm happy to be a parent that I wanted as a child. That's what I got. So
Well, that's beautiful. You were able to break some generational situations.
Well,
and
what's weird about that is my grandparents were extremely strict with with my mom and her brother. So I don't know where any of that came from, but she was whatever. So, but I feel like people blame where they come from all the time as adults. It's like, well, he's, constantly putting me down because his dad did. No. Okay, fine. Maybe his dad put him down and he's a bully because bullies bully. So, but why would you concede in that? Well, my husband's not nice to me because
I think
when he was growing up, he was bullied or he was, yelled at or whatever.
Well,
so
I
then
think
he
that's
yells at
just
me.
making an excuse for someone. That's not okay. I think it's okay to blame the parents if that's what they did to their child and their child learned that and continued that into adulthood. I don't think that a partner or a friend or another family member could make that as an excuse, though. I think that they need to tell them head on, like, this is not okay, or this is a boundary. And if you're not going to respect me or that boundary, then I'm out.
Right. And that has happened. And let's just use this as an example. And the wife put up a boundary and said, I will not be talked to like this.
Yeah.
And
great.
his excuse is, well, my parents did a number on me, so this is who I am.
No. Yes, your parents did number you. Fair. That's your story. That's your truth. And I believe it 100%.
Yeah.
Doesn't excuse your behavior.
Correct. That's
Right.
what I'm saying. So when we started this 5 minutes ago, it was,
I think
why do you
that
blame your parents?
you can blame your parents for a lot of things.
Okay. Genetics? Yes. I don't know. No.
For lots of things. But you can't excuse your own behavior because of how you were raised.
Correct. So you
Right.
change
So
it.
I don't think
You
it's like
change your state of being.
I don't think it's a, we need to stop blaming our parents. I think it's a stop excusing your poor behavior. Point blank.
Okay.
Like, why do you?
Like take responsibility and change
Yes.
it, or get some help and change it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter anymore, meaning
Yeah.
it's not relevant anymore.
Right.
I'm sorry
Right.
for that kid. That kid needed, and most kids need to be held and made to feel secure and safe. And that child was not. And I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
So again, when do we stop blaming our parents for, I knew someone that when you put down a plate of food in front of them and we're sitting at a table, they would take as many as possible to stock up because he wasn't allowed to have that, but he was 60 years old.
Wow.
So
So it's just like ingrained in him from a child who didn't know when his next meal was going to come.
right.
So I think that there's a lot to unpack there.
There definitely is. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to live that way anymore. He lived that way as a child. And now, hello, fast forward, you're an adult and all the way to 60.
Right.
You don't have to do that any longer.
I mean, the way that you're grown up, it instills so much in you that's your perspective you take out into the world. And of course, things are going to change. Experiences, events are going to change you and how you see things. However, it is so ingrained in you what you were taught in childhood or not taught, whether you go that direction or not. You can be 100% for it or 100% against it, but there are certain perspectives that you take that show you, your beliefs around what you see in other people, what you see in yourselves, how you perceive events and situations that happen in your life. So it's like I said, I don't think it's like a blaming of the parents. I think it's a stop making excuses for poor behavior and for detrimental behavior. Something that no longer serves you needs to be released.
Right. So how do you do that?
Therapy. Go to therapy.
Okay.
Everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Commercial break. We should have commercials.
When we get brand deals.
Hold the pickle, hold the lettuce, special order. Don't upset us. All we ask is that you let us serve it your way. Have it your way at Burger King. Have it your way at Burger King. Yeah. I used to do that on the microphone at Burger King when I was 14.
Should I leave that in the show?
Sure. I just
Burger
plug
King
Burger King.
sponsor
That'd be amazing. No. My friend's dad used to own Burger Kings.
That's lovely.
Yeah. I think her uncle still does. Hello. Okay.
Who? I thought you said my uncle, and I was like,
No,
what?
her uncle.
That doesn't make
no,
sense.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So we're talking about taking back not taking back your childhood, but
Taking
we're talking
ownership
about
of your behaviors.
Right. And repenning, meaning rewrite. Rewrite your script.
Repenting.
Rewrite your script. And I think maybe the first thing to do is obviously to acknowledge it. Like, this is old. I wasn't taken care of in this way, and I'm going to take care of it now. And so compassion for yourself and compassion for your inner child that didn't get what they needed. It's time for you to do that.
Yeah.
Yourself. And you can. There are ways to do that.
Yes.
Obviously.
What are the ways?
In therapy, and should be done with a facilitator or a counselor or therapist, which would benefit all those wounds, because the wounds are angry wounds. Underneath underneath all of that is sadness. So it's easier to be angry and blame and point fingers at everyone in the world that this is why you're like this. This is why you don't have this. This is the way you are. It's because of them.
Sometimes.
And then you can heal by acknowledging I'm an adult. I can rewrite my life and heal that child so the adult can breathe and live in a safe and secure environment.
Yeah.
And feel love and give love the way they want. Mm-hmm. I think it's an amazing thing. So you're reparenting yourself, which is interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have to do that because they didn't have good parents as role models or guardians.
Right. We can also talk about forgiving your parents. That's hard. That's a hard one. Because people hold so much anger. I think forgiveness is an incredible gift. I learned that a long time ago from actually a family member. And it's an incredible thing to watch. And it's incredible because I don't understand how you can muster that up and like really, really believe it. And I saw it firsthand. It was intense and incredible and life-changing. And I feel like it's really, you can hate your parents or hate, someone who's harmed you or didn't raise you the way you wanted to be raised. But what about forgiving them? It's not really for them.
Right.
It's for you.
Exactly.
Right?
It's more of like you're letting it go. It's, what's that saying? It's like it used to be forgive and forget, but now it turned
forgive,
into
never forget. Like I could forgive, right? Sorry.
It's literally what
Not
I'm
forget.
saying.
Yeah. Sorry. All right, go. I guess that's one of the things that you hate about it. Not hate.
Not hate. Just
okay. Go. Carrying on.
You don't let me get to the punchline.
Go. Oh, okay. I'm impatient.
You're right.
All right, go.
The saying used to be forgive and forget, but now it's turned into forgive and let go. You can still remember, you can still hold it onto it. It's your memory. Like, of course, it's your truth. It's what happened. However, it's something that you can let go and move on from and forgive and let yourself be free from it.
Right. Because this is for you. And this is for that little child or that teenager or that baby, whatever is in your core that was not safe, that didn't feel safe or loved, you can give to yourself because you only know that kid.
Right.
So as an adult, you can parent that inner being and hold that space for that child that needed you.
Absolutely.
And you were too young to know, but now you're not.
Absolutely.
So then forgiveness starts to heal.
And I guess my question along with that, because I completely agree, and I think there's a lot of people out there that have difficult relationships with their parents and have not forgiven them for their faults, and yet still have relationships with their parents. How do you continue a relationship with someone that they were not the parent you needed?
Yeah, it's very hard. It's very tough because unless, that's part of the forgiveness. It's like, okay, you're who you are. You came to this place with whatever you've been given or whatever you mustered up as a parent. And although it wasn't enough for me, I want to say what people say. And I literally hate this more than anything. And that is they did the best they can with what they had. I will never accept that nor ever believe that.
Why?
Because everyone can keep on learning. People are progressive. If they
but what if they were people that were progressive? They still just were not.
They didn't choose to learn a different way. They didn't. They chose to stay the same and it was the easy way out. So they did the best they can. Now I'm out. But in order to be with those parents and start the forgiveness process, I think the best thing to do, of course, is have a conversation or like we've talked in the past about sitting down with your parent and having them listen without saying a word so you could speak and have it facilitated, I think is the best bet for safety and because everyone's going to want to interrupt.
Well, I think that the facilitation might be the next step. So first you ask to sit down with your parent and have a conversation, really more just to be heard, and that parent just listens. That was like the first step. And then I think the second step is you have a facilitator in the next conversation and have that be a full discussion of like, okay, this is what I heard. This is what I reflected on. This is, whatever. And then the facilitator can help progress that relationship and that conversation further. But what does that look like, or what happens after that?
Well, then it depends on how it's received, right? So if the parent is willing to listen to all the grief maybe that this child or adult has, maybe, and without commentary, then that parent's already willing. So the forgiveness will continue in this healing process.
Well, I think that there is a big difference between a parent listening and then eventually that parent's going to have to say something.
No, right. So what happens is, especially in what I do anyways, I meet with them separately, then I meet with them together, and I prompt the parent that your child or your young adult child, whatever, is going to speak the entire time.
That's just the listening part. I'm talking about
because then the parent gets
the discussion.
Then the parent gets to do the same thing in a different session.
Right. So that's the part I'm talking about.
So then the parent has their turn. So then the parent comes to me after, like the next day or the next week or whatever, and we have a discussion about what they heard. And I then role play with them to then make sure that it's either one session or two, that they will be okay to then show the child that they understand where they were coming from and apologize for their pain, specifically in detail from certain things that they said. No defense, no excuse, nothing. It's strictly that, but it takes a while to break it down because of course everyone's human and they want to defend their life and say why they did this and what happened at that time. None of that matters. So we have to get down to the nitty gritty and then go to where they then understand what their child needs. And that kind of goes through me. And then
so
we sit down, it's all written out and they read it.
Their session with you
is
a processing. That's, I think, really beneficial and helpful to process and reflect and figure out
what was really said, what they really felt. And so that is definitely the depth of it. Yeah. So then they write and we write together, and then we edit, and then we write, and then we scrap it, and then we write. And until I know that child, whether that child is 18 or 45, can take it in and hear, then that's not going in front of that child. So it maybe takes a little bit of time. And same with the child. Meaning it's not a blame game. I don't need them to come in my office and read from their woes of like, you did this and you did this. And there's ways to have people listen. Yeah. And so it's all a process. So it takes a little bit. Yeah. I would say a month at the minimum.
Going to multiple sessions with a facilitator. To
really just get it down. Right. And then the healing process starts, and then we could begin to talk and then make a plan, and it's slow and steady. And it's not just back to where it was. Oh, let's go have dinner. And then we're talking about grandma or whatever. Like, it's intense and it might not be so natural, but it's then it's going to come out to be natural. That's the goal. Yeah. Is for that eventually to continue. And then there's tune-ups that, they come in to figure stuff out, and that's great. I think that's, so
that's good.
Yeah. So stop blaming your parents for everything and take responsibility is actually the key.
Or just take responsibility for your behaviors.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Okay. Your parents may have caused issues, but
correct. But like,
it's time
to stop blaming and like do the work. Okay. Bye. Right. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Be sure to follow, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a good squeeze.
Of course, everybody needs one.
See you next time on Squeeze Lines.